out the box.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Fresh Out the Podcast, the number one podcast where you can talk to us. We're the best. I'm Jahan and Drew. I'm the board game guru, game master extraordinaire, and one of the guys on the podcast.
And I'm the professional media and movie mastermind, the Funhouse Drew Munhausen. And I mean, I guess you can talk to us. I mean, you're just, I guess if you're like at home talking out loud to us, we can't necessarily hear you.
We can hear you. We can hear
We're
you.
there in spirit.
Yeah. I'm listening.
163 episodes, John. That's a lot. That's
Jeez,
good.
man.
We're doing good.
Doing good.
I want to jump into a couple things because we got a lot to talk about, especially because you and I attended an early movie screening this week, which is exciting. But before we get into that, last episode that we were able to connect, we did like that long discussion about the state of Xbox and, all the kind of rumors of future Xbox consoles and potentially Microsoft working on like a PC Xbox hybrid, which some spokespeople for Xbox have essentially kind of confirmed that that's the case. So that's interesting. But then, super relevant to the conversation, just this week, a new Steam box was announced. And I think this is pretty relevant because this isn't the first time they've done this. Do you remember what the last one was called? They had like a Steam
I think it was
box.
called the Steam Machine.
Steam Machine.
They have tried this before. It did not do well. I was excited for the first one. I thought it was a really cool idea. But it did not do well. And yeah, they're giving it another shot.
It's not that it didn't work or anything, right? My understanding is like it was overpriced, or it was really expensive, entry to the machine.
Yeah.
And it It was too early, probably ahead of its time.
It was ahead of its time. It was too expensive. There's nothing wrong with it. It worked fine. I don't remember hearing any problems about it working, but I mean, it was pretty much just a computer. You know what I mean? And
Right.
just go get a computer. But yeah, it was too expensive. Like if they want to make something good for like this concept, it needs to be affordable because the whole point is to be able to play Steam games cheaper. Because that was another part of the problem. Like they didn't have a lot of they didn't have good exclusive content or anything. They just had the same games everyone else had. And so it was just, it was a misfire for sure. But this one is interesting.
It's worth noting they partnered with manufacturers last time. Like they worked with Alienware and Lenovo. This time Steam is building it themselves. Let's see. I'm looking at some of the details. There's not that much to even report right now. There's no pricing yet.
No.
I don't think that there's an actual date yet of when this will even be released. I assume it's next year.
I thought it said 2026.
Yeah, that's my assumption. They had some demos, like IGN has videos up. They were running Cyberpunk and Silent Hill F on the machine without issues, which is good. Cyberpunk.
Those are heavy.
Notoriously a heavy game. Yeah, heavy is probably the right word when you're maxing it out. But yeah, I think this is interesting, and I think my takeaway from it though is like if this is coming and it's relatively affordable.
Yeah.
What is Xbox gonna do to make a mark, or like what's the appeal of buying their box?
It kind of shits on them a little. So that's the interesting thing. One of the things that Xbox has really been pushing at that has kind of been a selling point for like the ROG Ally Xbox Edition and like this computer hybrid thing is like, hey, Xbox, but also Steam. And it's like, but Steam box, right? So like it's kind of I feel like it's throwing some dirt in that plan. Which is funny, like, because this is just bad timing on that whole thing. The other thing is, like, yeah, we were speculating, you were speculating, 10-year console cycles, and so we should be expecting to see more PlayStation and Xbox stuff next year. But this new Steam machine thing, we've already seen what it looks like, and according to you, we've seen someone like demos played on it, and it's like, man, like they're already pretty far along in this console race. So kudos to them. It seems like they're doing some stuff. There's some notes I have for them, but yeah, so far, I mean, so yeah, we talked about the only information we have. There's two versions, right? What was it? The 512 gigabyte,
right? I believe a 2 terabyte.
2 terabyte. That's pretty huge. And then they said it's a little bigger than a GameCube, which is pretty small for how powerful this thing is. That's impressive.
It almost, like looking at pictures, it almost looks like if you took the Xbox Series X and just sawed it right in half.
Yeah.
And just had a cube version of it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's really interesting looking. Also, I saw a video of the front plate is magnetic, and you can just pull it off and swap them out, and it's highly customizable. They had all these different graphic plates. It was pretty cool. So if that's something that you're interested in, I think that's actually pretty cool. The thing that I was not very impressed with, did you see the controller?
It's a big old bulky thing.
Holy shit. That thing is not pretty. Maybe the trackpads, it has 2 trackpads right where your thumbs go. Maybe they glide like butter. Maybe it's beautiful when you're actually using it. Maybe it sits in your hand very comfortably. And all that real estate is put to good use. But man, does it look ungainly.
I'm reserving some judgment on that.
Me too.
Just as somebody who really liked the Duke Xbox controller back in the day. If it works, if it's comfortable, I have pretty big hands. Sometimes even I find the Xbox current controller, to be one of the most comfortable controllers on the market. I think that the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 Pro controllers are also very comfortable. the PlayStation controller, which now these days is what I use more than anything. I have the I don't have the proper name in front. I believe it's the DualSense Edge, which is like the Pro version of the PlayStation controller, and it is a little bit bigger. I hold it pretty comfortably, but notoriously, when I would switch between using my Xbox controller and my PlayStation controller for long periods of time, the PlayStation controller would cause me to have, I guess, because I had so much muscle memory for the Xbox controller, I would have pain in my hands and like almost like a carpal tunnel issues when switching to the PlayStation controller.
It's interesting. I wouldn't expect you to use an Edge, seeing as how you're such a completionist.
Is this a joke?
It's a filthy joke. It's a very filthy joke. Enjoy.
I do understand you're a goon for making such a joke as that.
That's also a good one. That's right in the same alley. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I understood the context. Oh boy, what an episode this is already.
Yeah. Yes, so the thing about the Steam controller that I did want to actually get at, the size of it, it's very appealing to an American market, but I don't feel like it would do as well overseas. I feel like specifically the Japanese market, they like the smaller controller, the more streamlined PlayStation controllers, I think. Historically, they did not like the Duke. They do not like Xbox controllers as much. It's definitely more of the larger controllers, definitely more of an American appeal. So, I mean, it's an interesting choice, is definitely what I would go with.
I do think what's interesting is, it's clear that Microsoft, I should say, has been playing nice with Steam and Valve because of the fact that, on the Xbox ROG Ally X, you can access Steam on there. There's an Xbox UI, and you've got your Game Pass, but you can access Steam. And they've also made it very clear in their marketing lately that it's less about the Xbox console. It's more about being able to play Xbox anywhere that you can.
Yeah.
Whether that's Game Pass, whatever, streaming, so on and so forth. So in a weird way, considering they've been working well together, the Steam box almost feels like Valve beating Microsoft to the punch of whatever their next console is.
Yeah.
It's a PC hybrid. But I'm sure that now Microsoft is like, okay, well, let's make sure that we can access Game Pass on the Steam console.
See, that's kind of what I was getting at. It's kind of like they're spitting in their face a little bit, but maybe Microsoft will be like, whatever, here's Game Pass. And not care. Maybe they'll be like, hey, cool, now we don't have to make our console. Who knows?
In which case, then I would assume that the next Xbox console is basically a Steam box, but with an Xbox UI and Game Pass front and center, and then you can access, here's your Steam tab, or maybe a desktop where you can access those things, but it prioritizes the Xbox UI, and if this Steam box allows you to access Game Pass, then it's a win-win for Microsoft, I suppose.
Definitely. Maybe they'll do what they did with the ROG Ally, because ROG Ally is a third party. Maybe they'll do what they did with that and come out with an Xbox edition Steam machine. That would be nuts. You know what I mean?
I mean, that could be the plan for all we know. Maybe that's what they've got cooking next. This is the prototype, and then in a couple of years, you get the Xbox Steam, the Steam Xbox. The name's right there. It's the Steam box. Make it the Steam Xbox, and you have, an Xbox UI and Game Pass front and center. And,
I'm okay with it.
But you still have your Steam library.
Yeah, the thing about Steam, they tend to get the PlayStation games eventually, and that's really cool. So I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. Especially since some of the PlayStation games that come to Steam, my computer, as it's a little older, does have trouble with some of them. So a console tends to solve those problems because consoles tend to be a little more streamlined. So I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see the price point especially. And I'm interested for this console race to get off the ground so we can see what's going on. Next year will be exciting.
I agree. I think we're in a really interesting place as far as console wars go. I mean, I'd say essentially the console wars are over. at this point, there's going to be PCs and there's PlayStation and Nintendo, and they all have kind of different audiences. You know, Nintendo's always been good about cultivating their own little fan base, and Nintendo has like diehard fans that will buy whatever Nintendo puts out. And I feel like PlayStation has a similar thing, but also just people that like console gaming play on PlayStation. And then you have your PCs, and now there's a version of PC that sits like a console, but it's still a PC. So it's just an interesting place as gaming. It's not like a few years ago where, you know, you just looked forward to the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, and the next Nintendo console. Now it's like one of those is gone.
Yeah.
Not gone, but you know, one's becoming a PC, and so it's just different. And console gaming will probably change in the future because eventually, like, you know, I assume PlayStation's next console is the PlayStation 6, but then what's beyond that? And that's where I start getting into making my brain hurt. And I don't wanna think too hard about
after
it.
PlayStation 6 will be the PlayStation U, and it will be installed in the back of your ear.
I mean, sounds about right.
Yeah. Mark my put that in the prediction sheet.
It'll be the gosh, I have to dig to find the prediction
That's
sheet. I
that's
haven't accessed that in a long
in
time.
20 years. Mark my words. PlayStation U, and it will be installed behind your ear in your brain.
Here's the prediction sheet. I found it.
It's been a while since we made a fresh prediction.
No, it's funny looking back at some of these old ones. Gary, back on May 9th, 2023, Gary predicted. Actually, you signed off on it too. Fantastic Four will fail. They should skip it and go straight to X-Men, which I don't think Fantastic Four was a failure, but it definitely didn't perform
Didn't perform great.
office-wise the way that we thought it might be.
Yeah. I liked it though.
Yeah, I think I feel like it's gotten a little bit of a mixed reception. It's like critically kind of softly received, but there are fans that really like it. Zach, friend of the show, is a psychopath who thinks that it is better than Superman. I think he is an insane person for that take, but
I somewhat agreed with him actually.
no.
Yeah. I was pretty high on that movie.
Other friend of the show, Thomas, Gary's brother, actually texted me last night now that Fantastic Four is officially on Disney Plus, and said that he finally got to watch it, and he gave me a thumbs down emoji along with that, with his review. Let me see his initial text. Let me find this.
Well, Thomas, I give you a thumbs down.
Oh, that was it. He said, I finally watched Fantastic Four. Thumbs down emoji, and then an emoji of the face with the diagonally slanted mouth, so like this.
Yeah, gotcha. Fair enough.
So he said, lots of neat world design. Doesn't seem like it added a single thing to much. Lots of look at this and just zero substance. Too bad. That was Thomas's review. So I'm going to mark that prediction as, I'll put it in the green.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Marking it as correct.
It was kind of true.
Because, not necessarily that it was like doo-doo and a box office bomb, but I just think it was a soft reception and it didn't make nearly as much money as people thought that it would. So
Yeah.
I'll say that that prediction was correct.
Soft reception was my nickname in high school.
I don't doubt that one bit. Why can I not find thing that oh, here it is. Okay, there we go. There's that. Let's see, August 1st, 2023, there will be a Barbie sequel. No, they shouldn't. They're actually
2023.
That franchise has remained dormant since that.
Yeah.
There's been no movement on any Barbie sequel. Gary, December 4th, 2023, Gary thinks GTA 6 will launch at a higher price point than $70. That's probably true.
That's
We
probably
still
going to be
don't
true,
know.
actually, yeah.
And that game just got delayed again. That is supposed to be out in May, and now it's coming out in November of next year. So we've got a full year to wait until we know about that. Oh man, what a wrong prediction this was. February 6th, 2024. Drew says Nintendo Switch 2 will launch with Xbox Game Pass. No, that did not happen.
Fuck that one up, buddy.
That's a no. This is a good thing. I'm glad we're catching up on this. This
Yeah,
is
we got to
important
catch up
stuff.
on it.
February 20th, 2024, Starfield to PS5 sometime. That's definitely going to happen, I
It
think, in
will.
2026. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet with all the Xbox titles that have come to PlayStation, but Starfield, I'm sure that'll happen next year.
It will, but that game is the wet fart of the Bethesda library.
And then back in March, we predicted that there would be a new 3D Mario in the Switch launch window, and they'll capitalize on Animal Crossing's success with new Animal Crossing. And
Both of those are wrong.
instead of a new 3D Mario, it was a 3D Donkey Kong game, and Animal Crossing is getting a Switch 2 update coming early next year. So
It is.
There's like shades of being right in that, but ultimately it was wrong.
I would call it ultimately false, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad we caught up on those predictions.
Don't forget to put my new one.
And what was the new one? Let me
mark this. In 2 consoles, the PlayStation will be the PlayStation U, and it will be implanted into you.
We won't know the answer to that prediction
Until 2046.
Yeah.
So 2046, yeah.
But just to humor you, Jahan, I will put it here in writing.
Hey, hopefully we're both still alive and we're both still friends. So yeah, we'll probably check it out, you know? Who knows? Maybe we'll still be doing the podcast.
Planted behind your ear? Was that what you said?
That was specifically what I said, but just in your body's fine.
Okay, I'll put in parentheses, or in your body. J in for Jahan Navisi. We got to make sure everybody knows that is a Jahan original.
Yeah. I feel like
All
this console race will be the last external game consoles of our lives.
Well, speaking of races, I'm going to race to get back on track with lots of running here as we discuss The Running Man. Edgar Wright's The Running Man, which we were able to see earlier this week. We're recording this episode Thursday night, so actually, as of now, this movie is showing in theaters. It is out. People can go see it, but we got to catch it a few days early. The Running Man, based on a novel by Stephen King, actually penned under the name Richard Bachman at the time. This has been adapted into a movie back in the 80s starring one Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you've heard of him. And this was due for a new adaptation. It's a more faithful adaptation to the source material. And Jahan, what did you think of Edgar Wright's The Running Man starring one Glenn Powell?
Basic thoughts. I liked it a lot. It was a fun time at the movies. It was one of the more enjoyable movie experiences I've had in a while. I mean, to be fair, I haven't been watching that many movies lately, but yeah, I had a good time with this one.
I also had a good time with it. I thought it's not perfect, but
No.
it's a pretty solid blockbuster to go see this holiday season. I'm a big Edgar Wright fan in general. Scott Pilgrim is one of my all-time favorites. Like, it's probably in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Which he also directed. I really like some of his other films like Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver. I'm less high on his most recent film, Last Night in Soho, which I actually did like, but was a little bit more mixed on. This, I would say, for people who know Edgar Wright or are a fan of Edgar Wright movies, this is a more... It has less flashiness associated with some of Edgar Wright's style than I'd say his original movies. This is almost more... I'm not going to say this is journeyman filmmaking because there's definitely style to this, but it's more of a traditional blockbuster movie experience, although it is very well made. I think.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like weird cuts to like looking at the camera or any like strange sound effects or anything like that. You know, there's no like, it's pretty straightforward, regular film style. Yeah, but the subject matter is pretty wild.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, basically it's like a dystopian future. Poor people are living in pretty much the worst possible living situation, worst scenario. And in the story, Glenn Powell, as his name is Ben Richards, which is always weird to me because me, Gary, a few of our friends, we've had a friend growing up named Ben Richards as well, so I just can't help but think of that. But Glenn Powell plays Ben Richards. His daughter is very sick. I think with just the flu is what he said. But because of their living situation and living in the slums, like the flu is deadly. You can't afford basic medication to treat it. And so he wants to go on a game show to try to win some money to help get the meds for his daughter. And I guess in the world of this movie, you get evaluated for which show you go on. And The Running Man, which is the deadliest but also most popular show, essentially takes the most in shape, best contestants. And Ben Richards, played by Glenn Powell, is chosen to be on The Running Man. And it goes from there. And everybody's trying to hunt him and kill him. And the longer he survives, the more money he gets. And the cool thing about this is there's a lot of advanced technology, so there are like floating cameras and things like that. And sometimes the story shifts between the floating cameras, and from that perspective, that becomes more of like found footage styles that follows. And some of those shots are like really well done and pretty creative. And ultimately, I thought Glenn Powell was just like pretty charismatic and a pretty fun movie star.
Yeah, he does a really good job. He's a really good main character. His character's so angry, he plays it really well. I don't know, you really feel for the character. They really nail the dystopian vibes, which I feel is always really important in these kinds of movies. They make everyone's situation feel desperate, and they make you understand why someone would sign up for something so crazy. It really does feel like a helpless situation. And then, there's the undertones of rebellion and that kind of thing in this movie. And I really like it. There's the strong anti-capitalist messages and the down with the corporate governments and all that good stuff that, I love. And, if you work for a living, you should probably start to enjoy too. But yeah, this movie, it's not heavy-handed with this messaging. It's not like, it's not in your face with all of it. It's there. It's layered throughout. There is some political messaging in it. But, it's not too in your face about it. Overall, this is a great action movie. A lot of crazy over-the-top violence. I'm pretty sure some guy's head got squished by two logs smashing together, and they showed the whole thing, and it was pretty cool. And yeah, there's a lot of good comedy moments in this. Some of them made me laugh pretty hard. But beginning to end, solid movie. I was entertained the entire time, and I definitely think you should go watch this movie. This is a good one.
Yeah, as a movie called The Running Man goes, like, it definitely takes off at a sprint, and like I feel like it doesn't let off the gas very often. And I haven't read the original novel, and I wish I had, but I did just as like a thought exercise after having watched, because I had never seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie until this week, and I was like, I'll catch it before we go to see the new screening, so that I at least have the two to compare. And they're quite different, so that's not, it's not like you're just rewatching the same movie. They're very different. This version, Edgar Wright's version with Glenn Powell, is, having now read just the Wikipedia plot description of the Bachman novel, this is pretty spot on. It's like almost exactly beat for beat the same as the novel, with some major detractions, especially the ending is a big change. But the Arnold version is really more of taking the source material and how do we convert this to an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. That's really what that is. And there's a whole different backstory for the character that Arnold plays, and then getting him onto the show is totally different. And then the show is much more contained, almost like a gladiator style arena that he continues to live through, but he's there against his will. But and then also the other thing that movie does is it combines the creator of the game, like the studio exec, and the host are one in the Arnold version, and it's actually played by the original host of not The Price is Right. Family Feud, I believe. If I'm looking this up.
I
So
do not
that I'm
remember that guy's
speaking out
name.
of turn. You do not know his name? Is that what you
I
said?
do not know his name.
His name is. Why can I not find things quickly when I need to?
I don't know.
Richard Dawson,
Okay.
who is an actor, comedian, game show host, known as the original host of Family Feud in 1976 till 1985. So there you go. So he plays the game show host in the Arnold movie. In this version, you have Josh Brolin playing the studio exec and Coleman Domingo playing like a very fun, flamboyant, like charismatic version of the game show host that I could have used even more of him. I thought he was very fun.
He killed it. He was hilarious.
I thought that Katie O'Brien, who has been popping up in all kinds of action movies this year, but she plays another one of the contestants on The Running Man. Like, I thought she was very good. Also could have used more of her.
She's great in everything she's ever been in.
Yep. So there's a lot of fun performances. I thought that Josh Brolin was good, but he's just kind of being Josh Brolin. Like, there's not really much to that. Michael Cera shows up midway through the film in a fun segment, and it's cool because it's a reunion between him and Edgar Wright after Scott Pilgrim. In the latter part of the movie, there's a set piece with Amelia Jones is an actress who shows up playing a character named Amelia, and she's like a civilian, like taken hostage. And I thought she was fine. It's kind of like late in the movie by that point, so it's just, I thought that was fine. I really like that actress. Did you ever watch Coda, Jahan?
I've heard you talk about it, but no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it won Best Picture a few years ago. She's the lead in that movie, and I really like her as an actress.
Oh, that girl. Yeah, I've seen her and stuff. She's really good.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I've seen her in.
That's most of my. I mean, is there anything else? There is a lot of action. There's a lot of just kind of, not to be cliche and be like, oh, I was on the edge of my seat, but there's just a lot of tense moments where he's being hunted and you don't know what's going to happen. And I just enjoyed all of that.
I know her from the Netflix show Lock and Key.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that she's in that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I really like that show. And I think it got canceled, so I'm like bummed. But whatever. Show's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, man. The Running Man, go see it. Take your kids. I don't know. Only if they're old enough.
I assume it's rated R, right? There is some violence.
It has to be rated R. I think they said the F word more than once, which means it's got to be rated R.
Yeah, but it is a fun action movie. I think that our theater was a full theater. I'd say that they were enjoying it.
Yeah, people clapped and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Thought it was a good time. It's not the best blockbuster I've seen this year, but it's one that I was looking forward to. I do think it's worth noting Glenn Powell has been really interesting to watch as a potential movie star, because he's been kind of somebody that I feel like film enthusiasts have really been watching, because he's going by more of like the Tom Cruise movie star playlist rather than, I'm going to be a superhero in an MCU movie and get stuck in that. Like, no, he's actively avoiding superhero movies. He's had hits and misses. He was in a Netflix movie last year called Hitman, which is really good. And he, had a notable side role in Top Gun Maverick. He had a huge hit, I think it was in late 2023, the romantic comedy Anyone But You that he's in with Sydney Sweeney, which was like a huge hit, even though it's not great, but like he's very charming in it, and that movie made a lot of money. So whatever. I just think that this movie is probably the one that really solidifies. Twisters last year, he was in that too, and that was a pretty big one. But
that was a big one.
Two-hander.
It was okay. This was much better.
He's with Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah.
For most of it, and like this is Glenn Powell by himself hoisting the movie on
As
his
a Sam, for
shoulders, and
sure.
I thought he did a really good job. So
If you did cast him in a superhero movie, who'd you cast him as?
I mean, he's like very clearly a Cyclops, right?
Cyclops. He could
But
be
he's a little
Cyclops.
bit. You know what? He would have been in a younger version. He's 37, so like he's not old by any means. But like,
He's
there's a
our
world where
age.
he could have been a really good Johnny Storm.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you have one on your mind?
Cyclops was a good pick. There's been too many Batmans, but I think he could do Batman.
I think he's too charming. I think he's too like funny to be Batman.
Maybe, but Bruce Wayne can be funny, especially in the animated cartoon. He did tend to be. And Batman, to be fair, the only part of Batman you can really see is his chin. He has a good chin. You know what I mean? He has like the cartoon Batman chin.
I did hear somebody throw out recently, speaking of Schwarzenegger, that Patrick Schwarzenegger's son would be. It's possible that he would be eyed for Cyclops, and he is a total Scott Summers Cyclops. So he could totally do that.
Hell yeah.
I don't think you watched the most recent season of The White Lotus, but
No.
Patrick Schwarzenegger's on that. But no, he would be
It's kind of
a
cool.
right fit for Cyclops.
It's kind of
too.
cool.
But I do think it's funny with somebody like Glenn Powell, who's actively avoided being in Marvel movies. We're sitting here like, but what Marvel character would he be?
Yeah, he can't stop us.
Not an Eternal. Don't like. I'm glad he's not stuck in Eternals. You know,
Yeah.
a bunch of movie stars went that route. Did not work out for them. Although I have some Eternals related news that we'll talk about here further in
What?
In movies. But you know, that's a different conversation.
Okay, that's interesting, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking Batman. I don't know who else I would put him as.
I wasn't even thinking deep. He could be a Green Lantern. He could be a Hal.
He could be a Hal Jordan. I think he would be a better Hal Jordan than Reynolds was for sure. You know who he could be? He could be that guy without a face. Who's that guy?
Oh,
The Question?
The guy without a face.
Isn't he called The Question? DC?
I don't.
He's
know.
pretty obscure.
Riddler.
No. He's a hero, but he's like he's a conspiracy theorist kind of guy. He doesn't have a face.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is not ringing a bell for me.
Yeah, I think he's called The Question. But yeah,
Oh, he could be a Booster Gold.
he could be. Booster Gold would be okay. I feel like I liked seeing him angry in this movie though. But yeah,
That's true. He did do Rage pretty
he did
well.
rage really well. Like almost more
Think,
like
are there any
a.
other X-Men characters he could be?
I mean,
I feel like
yeah, there's Wolverine. I mean, he could do a Puck.
Yeah.
Maybe he could be Omega Red or something. Be cool. I don't know how his Russian is.
Thinking about villains. Yeah, there's something there.
Sabretooth?
Do whatever he wants to do at this point.
Sabretooth could be good.
I mean, I guess. Get some claws, some long hair.
Yeah.
Go 80s Sabretooth.
Be pretty cool.
All right.
It's
Anything
fun.
else to
It's
add about
fun.
Running Man?
No, I think we beat that one to death.
I'd say.
Like so much so
Well,
I don't think anyone's gonna go see it.
We can move on to fresh movies
Hell yeah.
of the week, which I think this is all me. Do you have anything to add here, or are you just gonna let me run free?
I'm gonna let you run free, and I'm gonna comment because I like doing commentary, and I'm gonna make fun of you a couple times. Maybe call you a bitch. I don't know.
That's fine.
We'll see how I feel.
That's to be expected.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out of order from how I listed them here because I'll start with the things that are in
Bitch.
theaters right now that you can catch.
Okay.
I'll start with Predator Badlands.
Okay.
Which came out this past weekend. It was the highest opening weekend for a film in the Predator franchise, which that's pretty interesting.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, it's cool to see that it's not like interest isn't dying down. It seems to be growing. I'm really excited to see this one, actually. I'm hoping that you're going to say good things.
And I am. I'm happy to say that it's very good.
Hell yeah.
I enjoyed it a whole lot. I have to admit, I was a little bit hesitant. I didn't know if I would be able to get behind the Predator as the protagonist, because that is the angle this movie takes. That's the twist, which, if you think about it, looking back at this franchise where you have Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and most recently The Predator, which is not great, and Prey, which came out a few years ago. In all of those movies, the common denominator is that the Predator is the antagonist and is hunting humans.
Yeah, but you left out AVP and AVP 2, and yeah.
That was by design.
Okay. I see what you're getting at. I see what you're doing.
No hate to those. I'm sure that those films have their fans, but I'm looking like, I guess those are adjacent. They are part of the Predator franchise, but I was really looking for main Predator entries.
Okay.
And we've had several movies of the Predator as the antagonist, so like it makes sense to change from that. And this movie really works. It establishes like a family dynamic and a clan dynamic for the main character, Deck, who is a Yautja, which I don't know if that's just the clan that he's part of or if that's the proper name for the Predator alien species.
My understanding is there's two kinds of predators. One of them's like the larger, more aggressive ones, and the other one's the smaller ones that get picked on by the bigger ones.
And Deck is one of the smaller ones. Like, he's the runt of his family. He's considered weaker, and he, things happen, and goes away to this planet because part of the thing for their clan is you have to go to a distant planet, and there's different trophy, hunts, and you come back with your trophy, and that's how you get brought into the clan. And being brought into the clan means you get the like invisibility cloak. Cloaking device, because he does not have that throughout the movie. And so anyway, he goes to this planet. So it's worth noting, most of the planet's CGI, lots of different creatures. It is the type of planet where everywhere you step, everything is deadly. The grass is razor blades. There are, things in the trees, things in the grass, there are all kinds of creatures. Everything is out to kill you. And then he does come across an android in the movie that is played by Elle Fanning, and she is a damaged Weyland-Yutani synthetic. So this movie does merge the Alien and Predator franchises in a more subtle way. I mean, I guess it's not subtle, but it is. It's not like there's xenomorphs here.
Yeah.
But Weyland-Yutani is part of it. She is a synth. This is in the marketing. This isn't a spoiler. You can see this. There's a lot of imagery of the Predator wearing Elle Fanning's Thea is her name, as it's like Chewbacca with C-3PO as a backpack. Like, that's kind of the look here, is Deck with the android on his back, and they form a bond as he's hunting this big game creature on this planet. And it's a fun kind of buddy movie in that way. There's lots of violence, lots of action. It's rated PG-13, but I think most of that's because it's just fighting a lot of CG creatures, but it is still very violent. It's just there's no humans and there's no blood, so they're kind of able to go all out with that.
Yeah.
As part of it. I did really enjoy this. I thought it was a good time. I think the question that is raised here for me is, after this, where I was able to get behind a Predator as the protagonist, I'm like, man, now how do you go back? Like, can I go back to a movie with human protagonists and the Predator hunting them and the Predator viewed as the antagonist? Because I don't know if we feel like we've explored everything there is to explore there, and now we can tell all kinds of news stories from the Predator's perspective and them doing different hunts and different tribal things, almost like the Avatar franchise. Like, are there different types of predators? There's the fire predators, and there's the water predators, and there different biomes and things like that. There's probably a lot to.
I mean, yeah, they could do it like that. They could do like the cultures are different. Some of them are still hostile, blah blah blah. But also, I mean, it worked in Star Trek. The Klingons used to be bad guys and like hyper aggressive, and then they were able to come into the fold a little more and all that stuff.
What's the one in the Next Generation?
Worf
or something like that,
or Wolf or Worf. I think it's Worf.
Yeah. I think it's Worf too. That sounds right. Yeah, I'm not a Trekkie, but
it's been a while.
I've seen all the Next Gen movies. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Predator Badlands. Overall, I really liked it. John, I do think that you would enjoy it. I recommend you go see it. I'd be interested to get your take on it.
I really want to.
So let's see.
I've seen almost every single piece of Alien and Predator media. So,
Well, yeah, you got to see this. Here's the other interesting thing. You got me thinking about this too. Um, you've got Predator Badlands, which is good, and Prey, which is good,
also very good.
and Alien Romulus that came out recently,
Very
which
good.
I also enjoyed.
I loved it.
And you have the Alien Earth FX franchise, which has been well received and just got renewed for a second season. So
The beginning was good.
it's
I didn't
very-
get to finish it because life sucks and it's hard.
Same, but I liked very much what I saw of it
Same.
and some of the new ideas that it introduced. So for once, you have the Alien franchise in a pretty good spot. Culturally.
Firing on all cylinders.
You have the Predator franchise arguably in the best place that it's ever been. You know, it's just made the most money in one entry in opening weekend that any of the entries before have. Admittedly, I did not see Predator Killer of Killers, which is the animated Predator movie that came out on Hulu this year that was also
Right.
directed by Dan Trachtenberg.
I didn't see it either.
But I've heard good things about it. But still, regardless, seems like both these franchises are in a good place. There are additional ways that you can probably incorporate these franchises into each other. That clearly seems to be the goal, is they're interconnecting these into one bigger franchise. But you don't have to do the obvious Alien versus Predator right off the bat. But like, yeah, introduce some Weyland-Yutani synths into the Predator universe and do, you know, there's some cool things that you can do there. And so I'm interested to see where they go from here. Hopefully they don't jump the gun and immediately go to Xenomorphs and Predators fighting off against each other here soon. But I think that you can grow these franchises. you can do some kind of parallel growth with both of these at the same time. So we'll see what they do. It's cool that they're in a good spot, considering Alien in particular, I feel like has had lots of ups and downs.
Yeah, it's just nice to see IPs that you love being taken care of.
Yeah, and part of that for Predator in particular is like Dan Trachtenberg directed this and directed Prey and directed Predator Killer of Killers. It seems like he has become kind of the main person behind the Predator franchise, and I don't know how long he's going to stick with it, but he's clearly passionate about it. He's making good movies, making good content out of it, and it helps to have one person that seems to have a vision for this franchise rather than just being kind of all over the place. So
Yeah.
as long as he wants to stay with Predator, I'm fine with that because I like these movies and they've been really fun.
Hell yeah.
So that's Predator Badlands. Now you're getting into, we're in November. We're really in award season, ramping up. This is where all the kind of prestige movies are starting to come out. And so I'm trying to find, it's why I had nothing in fresh games. Spoilers. I haven't been playing much video games because my spare time has been actually watching a lot more movies or things like that. But there's a movie out in theaters now called Die My Love, and it is directed by Lynn Ramsey, who she is not known for directing warm and fuzzy movies by any means. She did a movie a few years ago called, hold on, I'm going to get this because I want to say You Were Never Really Here, but it's something like that. It is called You Were Never Really Here. Yeah, that's right. It's with Joaquin Phoenix, and that's a movie that I enjoyed. This movie stars this one, Die My Love, her newest movie, stars Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson, and they are a young couple who move away from the city and move into a house that was owned by Robert Pattinson's character's uncle. And soon after, Jennifer Lawrence's character gets pregnant, and so they have a child in this house. And while she is home with the child, caring for the child, she starts to suffer from feelings of postpartum depression and isolation, and even goes into like a state of psychosis. And
that's heavy, man.
it is, and you know, postpartum depression, obviously very common. It's a thing that a lot of women and men deal with. There's male postpartum depression too, and
It's very common, yeah.
but it is rare to see it though portrayed on screen, especially like this. And this is a movie where there are horrifying moments. There are very funny moments. but at the heart of it is a pretty incredible Jennifer Lawrence performance. Jennifer Lawrence won an Oscar over a decade ago, and I've always liked her, but now, as we're like kind of over 10 years removed from her busting onto the scene and being like the young ingenue actress that everybody wanted to cast and everything, and she was being cast as roles like way older than she was and it didn't really work, and she did take like some time away for a bit and has now come back, and I think she's making really good and interesting choices, and this, I would say, is her best performance. She's
Oh,
really really good in it.
good for her. I
Like
love Jennifer
pretty
Lawrence.
astounding. And Robert Pattinson's good as her husband. He's kind of absent for a lot of it, as part he's working, he's away a lot, and that's part of it. But when he is around, he's good. Sissy Spacek plays Robert Pattinson's character's mother, and she's going through it, as an older woman who like she's lost her husband, and she's having some mental issues and things too. So there's a lot of themes here of like the isolation and loss and losing yourself and all that really really worked for me. Again, it's heavy stuff.
You're really bumming me out, Drew.
There are truly funny moments in the movie too, and like real moments, but there's also like some pretty harrowing stuff. But overall, I thought this movie was very well done, and it's worth seeing for Jennifer Lawrence's performance, even though you're not going to walk away from this movie feeling warm and fuzzy inside. So that is Die My Love. It is in theaters now, although I don't think it made very much money this past weekend, so I don't expect it to be in theaters for long. But it's good. That's Die My Love. Another movie that I saw, this is another big awards movie. I saw Hamnet, which this is the new movie from Chloe Zhao, who is an Oscar-winning director who directed Nomadland, and then after her Oscar win for Nomadland, she went on to direct Eternals, the MCU entry that we mentioned earlier. And now she has pivoted from her MCU entry to Hamnet, which is based off of a novel that came out in, I think, 2020 or 2021. And
I sure hope it's good. She's in trouble.
No, well, I'll say off the bat that Hamnet is good.
Okay.
I enjoyed this movie. It's based off a novel where it's Jessie Buckley, who's an actress that I really like, plays Agnes, and she meets Paul Mescal, who you might know from like Gladiator 2 and a few other movies. An actor who I really like. He is playing a young William Shakespeare, and Agnes and William Shakespeare fall in love, and they get married, and they have children, and they suffer amazing highs and devastating lows throughout their marriage, and some of the loss and things that they've suffered leads to Shakespeare creating Hamlet, and so it's a lot about that. But really, at the heart of this movie is Jessie Buckley's performance, and she's really really good in it, and she is absolutely the front runner to win Best Actress this year at the Academy Awards. It is like probably one of the biggest sure bets that we've had in a long time. Like the statue might as well be sent already to be engraved with her name on it. Like it's almost a done deal. She's going to win the Oscar this year for this movie.
That's crazy.
So Hamnet. If I look at
you want to add it to the fresh predictions there, Drew? You seem pretty sure.
I feel like it's not even a bold prediction, but I will at this point. I'll just say
that's a bold prediction, man. That's
November. So another November 13th.
Doesn't Vegas take odds on that kind of shit? You should put money on it if you're that sure.
I'm sure the odds on her. Let's hold on. I'll pull this up. Give me a second. Jessie Buckley will win Best Actress.
Seems so confident. I'm just impressed by how confident you are.
Let me look at. There is a website for this. It is. Hold on. Actually, I'll do Academy Awards Vegas odds right now. This is the Google search Oscar betting odds. Timothy Chalamet is the front runner to win for Marty Supreme for Best Actor. Best Picture, the front runner is One Battle After Another. Best Actress, Jessie Buckley is a minus 250 to win. So yeah, she's the favorite for that.
Damn.
Followed by Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say, like, early on at this point, things can always change. You never know how campaigns are going to go, but Jessie Buckley's the front runner, and it'd be a deserving win. She's very, very good in this movie. Obviously, I haven't seen everything. And I just saw Die My Love, which I thought was Jennifer Lawrence's best performance. She was fantastic, but Jessie Buckley doesn't have an Oscar, and this would crown her as a new Best Actress winner. I think that's what's going to happen. But otherwise, I mean, this movie is really good. It's very sad. There's a lot of heartbreaking stuff in it. There's a lot about the birth of children and how special that is, losing a child, how devastating that is. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. There's some pretty tough things in it, but overall I thought the performances were absolutely fantastic. The movie looks beautiful. I think that Chloe Zhao, this is much more in line with what she should be doing. She was an indie filmmaker before getting the Eternals gig, which Eternals, worth noting, a lot of that movie shot on location. It is one of the prettier MCU movies. The plot, it just really sucks.
Yeah. It's really bad.
But Chloe Zhao, very talented, and this movie's very good. So that's Hamnet. I recommend. The last movie that I'll talk about, because I've had a bunch that I have seen, but I want to mention Eternity. This is a new, like, romantic comedy. It's kind of a high concept movie. It stars Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, Callum Turner. And this high concept is so I have to, like, set up the rules for what this movie does. It sets up a world in which when you die,
okay,
you go to, like, a junction in life, and you appear in the afterlife as the happiest you ever were in life. So you typically a younger version of yourself. So it's worth noting Elizabeth Olsen's character and Miles Teller's character were married for 65 years in their lives. Miles Teller's character dies when he chokes on a pretzel and goes to the afterlife, and then awaits. And then Elizabeth Olsen's character, who dies from she has terminal cancer, so she passes away. They meet up in the afterlife as younger versions of themselves. And in this afterlife, you get to choose where you spend your eternity. So, like, you end up in this junction that's full of, like, almost like going to a job fair. There's kiosks everywhere advertising all of the different eternities. Like, there's Space World, where, like, your eternity is in, like, outer space. Or there's, like, a forest deal, or Beach World, where you could just be on the beach forever. And like, there's all kinds of funny, gimmicky ones, and that's, part of the humor of the movie. But the twist here is that Elizabeth Olsen's character was married before she was married to Miles Teller's character. And her first husband died in the Korean War. And so then she moved on and was remarried, and now she is in the afterlife and faced with the scenario of, do I spend my eternity with my first husband, who I never got to live out my married life with, or do I spend my eternity with the man that I was married to for 65 years? And it plays with that as the, like, rom-com plot. And I think ultimately
Sounds
like
interesting.
high concept. Yeah. And there's humor to be found here. I think Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen are having fun in it because they're essentially playing, like, old people in younger people's bodies. So it's like that scenario. Whereas Callum Turner, who plays the first husband, he's like, I died and I've been waiting here for 67 years for you to get here so we could spend our eternity together. Like, that's his angle, and that's not as exciting. But yeah, I thought overall this movie had some fun concepts. It's not all done perfectly. Overall, I thought the movie was just okay.
Okay.
It's supposed to come out around Thanksgiving in the next couple of weeks. It's an A24 movie. I found it enjoyable enough, but when you have a premise like that, you know, throughout the movie, I was like, there's no way this movie's going to end in a way that's satisfying because it can't live up to the premise. And I would say ultimately it lands the plane pretty well, but overall, I thought it was fine. It's a fine movie.
Okay.
And that is Eternity. So I feel like it took me an eternity to get through all of these movies. I'm sorry, Jahan. Thank you for indulging me and letting me speak about all of these.
Hey, I like hearing about movies too, man.
Yeah, man, there's gonna be a lot more because we're in 'tis the season.
Tis the
and I
season.
think I'm gonna be seeing Wicked for Good next week. Which that's a big one. So we'll see. We'll see what comes next. But I see you do have a TV show as we transition to Fresh TV, so I will let you take that first.
Yay! Yeah. Jen likes reality shows, so she's been putting on the Squid Games actual reality game show, where real people can win millions of dollars. And so yeah, just like in the show, it starts out with a bunch of people. You know, they're all in one room, and they just kind of do the Squid Games thing. And there's like, you know, they play the social game. It's a lot like Survivor. You know, there's the social aspect. You know, you're playing the mind games. You're doing all that stuff. But there's also the games. Sometimes the rules aren't always so clear. You know, sometimes they'll ask you to volunteer for things, and like it seems like a good thing at the time, but then it puts you up for elimination, and like you didn't realize it. But all in all, I've actually become kind of invested. It's pretty fun. The games are cool a lot of the times. Right now, I just watched one where they were playing like kind of a crazy shoots and ladders thing, and the shoots like launched them into like the abyss. It was pretty cool, and I was laughing really hard because they were falling like 5 stories into the blackness. And it's just, I don't know, it's a pretty intense show. I mean, it's not that intense. It's kind of silly in a lot of ways. But like when people get out, like they have these little blood packs that burst on them and they fall down dead.
That's great.
But the packs are like black or something, so it's not like bloody. But it's pretty funny. They have to pretend like they're dead. And then they get carried out. It's just, I don't know. It's a good time. So if you like Squid Games and you like reality shows, this is a pretty good pick for you. It's on Netflix. I think there's a few seasons out.
I think this is the second season that just started.
Okay, yeah. We've been watching. I think we've been watching the second season just now, and it's pretty fun. Check it out. It's on Netflix.
Good stuff. I just wanted to mention The Chair Company again. This is the one I told you last episode that I needed you to watch it. I don't know that you have yet.
I watched
HBO
the first episode.
Oh, good.
And it's a wild time, and it's really funny. And I don't know what that guy's problem is. He probably needs to go to therapy. He's definitely got some hang-ups. It's pretty funny, man. It's like a really extended one of his like sketches. I don't know, man. Please don't tell people that I brought the outside wheelbarrow inside. It's really funny. You know.
I swear I have the hardest pillow in town, or the most uncomfortable pillow in town. That part made me laugh.
It's just so ridiculous, man. When the guy hits him with the pipe, I don't know, dude. It's just the guy took his shirt off. Yeah. It's just too much, man. It's so funny.
Keep watching. The most recent episode, I believe, was the 5th episode, and it is an episode where things got really wild and had me laughing a whole lot. So
I don't know
there's
how.
A couple episodes there where it's like just more of the mystery. It's still crazy, but the most recent one is where the stuff gets really weird.
It's really funny. I don't know how Tim Robinson. Like, I guess his shows are successful because he just keeps getting shows thrown at him. I don't know if he just has friends in high places or if he's like some kind of Nepo baby or what, but this guy just keeps getting these shows and it is funny. And I don't know, he's very much my sense of humor, so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, same. I find him to be very funny. Another HBO show, just worth noting, I watched the premiere of I Love LA. This is a new comedy that also is on Sunday nights on HBO. This is written by and created by and starring Rachel Sennett, who's a young actress that I really like. I think she's very funny. She's in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. She's in Saturday Night. She's in the comedy Bottoms. So she's in a few things. I feel like she's a good up-and-comer. And HBO kind of handed her the reins to a new TV show, and she basically has created like the new Gen Z version of Sex and the City, except it takes place in LA, where she's like, she's like a talent manager, like works for like an agency where they manage people's social media and things like that. And there's like a friend group dynamic, and Rachel Sennett's character has a boyfriend played by Josh Hutcherson from like the Hunger Games franchise and different things.
And Future Man.
Yeah, Future Man. That's right. I believe that was a Hulu series. So yeah, I enjoyed the first episode of this. I'll be interested to see. I haven't really looked to see what the reception is. I have not watched the second episode yet, but overall it's fine. Not the type of show I usually watch, but I like Rachel Sennett enough. It's like Girls. I don't know if you ever watched the HBO series Girls. This is like a more modern,
yes,
but funny. Like, yeah, it's.
Jen watched Girls a lot, and it was fine. It was. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that either. This is more my speed because I like Rachel Sennett a lot. So that's I Love LA. The last show that I had to mention was my wife and I have been watching season 2 of Nobody Wants This. This was the hit Netflix show starring Kristen Bell and Adam Brody that kind of like came out of nowhere. When did the first season came out? It came out in 2024. So yeah, just over a year ago. This show was kind of a sensation about Kristen Bell, who she and her sister have like a dating podcast, and she can't hold a relationship, and she meets Adam Brody, who's a young rabbi, and they start a relationship, and they get serious, but it's complicated for him because he's a rabbi and she's not Jewish, and his parents don't approve, and there's like all those kinds of dynamics in it. Super watchable series.
Right.
Yep, super watchable. The episodes are like 25 minutes long. I remember my wife and I got through season 1 really fast when it came out last year. Season 2 is now out, and I think we've watched 6 out of the 10 episodes. And this is just like a good vibes rom-com TV show to watch, like with your significant other. So I recommend it from that standpoint. There's a lot of comedy figures that show up, like even in this new season. Seth Rogen has like a small role where he shows up as a rabbi at a different congregation, stuff like that. So I'm really liking season 2, and my wife and I are watching episodes here and there.
That's pretty funny.
We'll probably finish that season in the next week.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. Netflix, you said, right? Nobody Wants This?
That is on Netflix, correct.
Alrighty. Drew, have you seen Future Man?
I have not.
Drew.
I'm familiar with it, but I have not seen it.
Drew.
Yes?
Drew, go watch Future Man.
I'm not going to watch it. They're not even making that show anymore, are they?
Yeah, it's over. They completed the show.
Did he make it to the future?
Yeah.
Good. That's good. It's good for him.
Yeah, watch it. All right.
I've got it. That's it. We got it. He made it. Oh, Seth Rogen's in that show too, apparently.
Yes, he is. Whatever.
Well, how about that?
That show's fantastic. Okay. Hey, everybody. I think that's it for today. Drew. Hey, that was fun. Thanks everyone for watching. Fresh out the podcast.
Hey,
this is the podcast.
Fresh picks,
we gotta do our fresh. Yeah, we gotta do our fresh picks. I was gonna do that. I was just saying bye first. My fresh pick. My first pick is definitely The Running Man. I liked it a lot. I'm really glad I got to see it, and I hope everybody else sees it too.
This is gonna be one of the rare times where I'm going to just have us align on fresh picks, and I'm going to say The Running Man.
Oh, really? That actually surprises me.
Yep, it was a good time. I got to see it with my friend Jahan in a packed theater, and that's how you all should go get Jahan to go with you and see it in a packed theater because that's the best way to see this movie.
I am fun to see movies with.
It's true. Jahan he's quiet. He's quiet during the movie, but he does laugh at things, and he's a good presence in general.
I'm a good presence. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our friendship today. This has been Fresh Out the Podcast, and it was fun. I have been the Board Game Guru, Game Master Extraordinaire, and your friend, Jahan.
And I am the professional media and movie mastermind, the Funhouse Drew Munhausen, and thank you for listening to episode 163 of Fresh Out the Podcast.
Stay fresh.